All right, Mekone turned 10. We finished research in construction, level 2, which is good. So now we can forge like really basic thug items and maybe some gear for our pretender when she wakes up. We're going for enchantment next, probably up to 2 for personal regeneration. Also for our Titan, that won't be particularly useful for the rest of our units. We had a throne claim. So somebody's already cleared a throne, the Crystal Throne. I think this is a pretty good one, I think. I think you get a solid mage off of that. Anyway, yeah. Not super relevant to us yet. Femoria declaring a prophet. And then, yeah, we took a look at our throne, which we will hopefully take. And sadly, there are mages here. Kind of nasty ones too. I mean, I don't know. It really depends. Let's see. Yeah. So nothing like too terrible. These guys are probably just gonna spam out a bunch of skeletons, which is not great news for me. Probably still could have taken this in retrospect. Maybe. It's hard to say. The Gigantes are really good. But giants can struggle with like hordes of chaff, like especially the polemarchs have pretty high encumbrance, so they tend to fatigue out, and skeletons like fatiguing units out absolutely a thing. So I don't really have enough experience to say for sure if we could take this right now, but yeah, it's not looking great. Let's take a look. What is the encumbrance on these guys? Actually, their encumbrance is not too bad, and they're pretty killy. There's only 17 of them right now, though, so yeah, it'd be a tall order. I don't think these guys bother. They're gonna like trigger gem usage or anything like that, and I don't think we're on the field long enough. Yeah, a couple of them are just making like basic skeletons and few. Well, they actually are using some blood slaves, I think, which is interesting. But yeah, raised skeletons. So like, yeah, these guys are gonna spam out a bunch of skeletons. So yeah, that's not good news. You don't want to fail, trying to take a throne. That's not a good look. It'd probably trigger your neighbors coming after you if they see it. And, people tend to leave scouts just hanging out on thrones because interesting things happen there. So yeah, probably not going to go for this right away, especially because really starting to think now, about attacking Hinnom here. So we're continuing our recruitment, getting more polemarchs, more troops. You can see like thoughts of actually, building a fort with money, pretty far from my mind here. Still have this guy on his free fort quest, so we'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, and then also even starting to recruit like a little bit of bone tribe here, just for some like extra strength. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much what we're looking at. I felt like this throne was a little too dangerous to take, with what I have currently. And definitely if I was going to go for this throne, then I would have to wait on going after Hinnom, and I wasn't sure, how much longer like Marverni was still going to be around. I think this is his capital. I don't know how much he has to the south here, but he's kind of down to it, right? And Hinnom is looking like, pretty large here, like still trying to push some scouts out to maybe see some of his other neighbors. But yeah, it looks like he expanded pretty well. So I just think that like Marverni is not going to last too much longer in all likelihood. So if I do want any kind of an ally, I need to move against Hinnom like as soon as possible, really. So probably going to hold off actually capturing this throne, which is a little risky. You haven't really been in touch with Tian'an too much at this point. I can't remember the exact point. He starts eating people. So yeah, he's like a pretty solid player, and apparently like a pretty powerful bless. And so yeah, there's a couple people talking about, but the person who he was eating was basically offering to pay people to jump in and attack him. And because I was busy with other stuff, I took that moment as an opportunity to grab a nap. With Tian'an, because a lot of times the elves, again, because they can elf you, and they don't they don't want to have to let you know that you're about to be elfed, so they don't like to sign naps. And I mean, this would be a weird war for me to go after. I mean, maybe once everything is cleared, but like at this point, like I just, yeah, it would be kind of awkward, especially when, you know, I've got this stuff going on. So I don't remember if that happens yet. There is a danger that TNN takes this throne, but it would essentially be a declaration of war since it's in my cap circle, and since it sounds like he's really busy at this point, it's pretty unlikely that he's, you know, just gonna, like, this is a nasty enough throne that you'd have to devote some resources to it, so he's not just gonna casually pick it up. So I should, I think, have some time to capture this. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, yeah, it hurts to not have your cap circle clear. Like, really, just as a point of pride. Yeah, having flashbacks to my other Ulm playthrough. But I mean, the throne is a little more understandable in terms of like not clearing it immediately, and I don't think I have info on like, yeah, exact. But like a swamp generally doesn't provide like a lot of resources, and probably isn't going to provide like too much money either. So it's a bit of a dead province in that sense. Now, I mean, obviously it's a throne, so like there could be some really good effects from capturing it, and then you're more likely to find magic sites in throne provinces. So it's not that this province is worthless, it's just it's not really going to handicap me not having it in terms of like getting resources in my capital and getting money. And I kind of feel like I need to pick between like, okay, do I build up to go after this, or, you know, do I throw my strength at Hinnom, which I feel like this is a more opportune moment. So yeah, probably not going to go for this now that we've seen there's a bunch of casters on there. And I think that's pretty much it. You know, just building up. Let's see, starting to forge a little bit of gear here for our polo marks that are coming out. And yeah, you know, just pulling these guys back, probably just combine up with the army. I was, again, originally thinking like, oh, maybe I'll bring everything back over the throne, but like now, you know, probably either link up in this province or maybe the capital. Don't want to alarm Hinnom by parking like a giant army next to his border. So yeah, definitely won't want to move out onto the border until we're actually ready. So yeah, I think that covers turn 10. All right, Mekone, turn 11. We got some research and alteration done. Yeah, we're doing some more alteration research. This is mostly for our polo marks. Level 2 will give us stone skin, I believe, which will just, you know, raise their protection even more, which is already good. Alteration in general is going to be really good for our polo marks. I think we'll want to get up to 4. I'm not sure if we're headed to 4 immediately. We had another throne claim by Not Us. This one looks like it's underwater. Not actually super familiar with this throne. But yeah, so that's good for them. And we found some magic sites. Are they forts? No, they're not forts. The Chamber of Changes is an interesting one, though. I think this is just the tar pits is I think fire gems. So yeah, we'll take a look at that chamber there. And then we had an unexpected event. So yeah, just, you know, a revolt. That's cool. Looks like some misfortune BS. Yeah, we don't have the luck scales there. So I mean, you know, that's part of it. Yeah, in fact, this is even under enemy dominion. So it's, you know, neutral scales. I may have not actually had province defense here. I think I've been pretty good about dropping province defense, but yeah, some events, well, I mean, events are tied to all kinds of things, but yeah, sometimes if you have like no province defense or really low province defense, you know, you can get events like that, and you can essentially just ensure that, I mean, there's always like some event, you know, that's going to take your province, but you can at least eliminate, you know, a chunk of them, like simply by putting like 1 province defense or like 6 province defense. So anyway, I may have forgotten, or I may have just gotten lucky. Regardless, we don't have it anymore. And then, yeah, this conjuration ritual is still cheaper. We still can't take advantage of it. That's sad. And then, yeah, you know, killing some Helots and had some promotions. So Helot life continues. So, yeah, movement. Oh, wait, no. Chamber of Secrets, or changes. So it's alteration bonus 20%, which is... Normally those sites, I feel like, are, you know, really cool to find. That said, let's see. Let's take a look at the research. We are going down alteration. Yeah, hang on. Let's just leave it up. I don't think there's a way to filter by ritual spells. This here, this symbol indicates that it's a ritual, so it's cast like on the overland map. Everything else is battle magic. There aren't a ton of rituals, really, in general. There's some later down in Alteration. Certainly, like, this is pretty useful. That's something we can cast, just dealing damage to, like, castle walls. So, having this 20% cheaper would be nice, for sure. We don't have the paths. A lot of this stuff we don't have the paths for. Actually, the alchemy, though, and alchemy is something that, like... so alchemy is just turning gems into gold. And you can do it, I think, just with fire and earth, although I'm not 100% on that. But, yeah, that is something I haven't really ever done it too much myself. I mean, gems are usually really pretty valuable. That said, I mean, I am always desperate for gold. And I do think, like, on Mekone, alchemy is, I mean, they get a lot of, like, fire and earth income, which are certainly, like, the most common alchemized gems for gold. So that's good. And they have a lot of gold problems anyway, I feel like, with expensive units and the unrest and everything. So anyway, alchemy on Mekone is, not the worst thing. And yeah, I didn't realize, like, these are, considered rituals. And I'm not sure how because it's something you can just keep dumping gems into, right? So it's like, you get 15 gold per gem. So I don't know how the discounting would work. But yeah, anyway, maybe something to experiment with. I mean, it's certainly not a bad find. Like, Mother Oak will be cool. We do actually have the paths to cast this, I think, maybe with some boosting, but, like, we're not going to have, like, I mean, Pangea's out there, so, like, forget it. We're never going to control that. Anyway, there's a few other ones, and a lot of them, like, are kind of out of path for us, but yeah, I feel like it's actually maybe not the most exciting one. In my own playthrough, I found a conjuration site, which I at least try to take good advantage of, which I feel like is probably a stronger one. But anyway, I mean, here I am complaining about, this is a cool find, for sure. It's a shame that it's in such a garbage province, because putting a fort here and a lab and everything to try to take advantage of it, but of course, then again, like, most of our provinces are not ideal for a fort, so and I mean, this actually does, like, it doesn't, like, perfectly, control this choke, but it would at least help having a fort here. So anyway, something to consider, and it is a cool find. I'd actually never seen this site before this game. So anyway, so what are we doing? So we are massing. Let's see. Yeah, so this is what we're bringing together, and this is more or less what we're going to send at Hinnom here. So we'll probably bring up, one or two polo marks as well. We're continuing to, forge some gear for them. But yeah, I mean, we're, let's see, where is all our money going this turn? Oh, you know what? It's going to this guy right here. So yeah, these guys are useful. You kind of want to have one around. They get some decent cross paths, and they're pretty good site searchers, I feel like, because they get, they're a bit rainbowy. They have paths of magic and a lot of different types of magic. So yeah, in terms of, like, mage turns, they're gonna find, like, a good amount of sites for, like, pretty low, like, effort and investment, which is cool. We want that. So anyway, I want to grab one of these guys. There's also a couple cool spells that, like, only they can cast. So yeah, definitely want to have one. They are expensive and slow to recruit. So yeah, we're just getting Peltas this turn because we're pretty broke. It will be nice, anytime you recruit a slow to recruit mage, it means next turn you can't recruit a mage, so you have more gold, kind of. That's always how it feels for me. So, the upfront cost can be, kind of painful for these more expensive guys. But, I mean, at least, if they're slow to recruit on the next turn, you have more gold to play with. And you don't have to, you're like, I'm still getting a mage. So anyway, yeah, that's, I think, where a lot of our gold is going. So yeah, we'll probably leave those Peltasts, honestly, because yeah, this guy's, like, still patrolling, but it's a very sad patrol. I don't think he has anybody, so we can expect the unrest to rise. We are above 300 income. Hooray! Unrest down to 8. So that's good. But again, like now that we're pulling all the patrollers off, it's going to start to rise again. Anyway, this is a constant struggle. So probably actually will not reinforce with those peltasts, which is kind of like always a little scary in my opinion. Anytime that you have forces that you could be throwing at the enemy, like you should try to throw everything, because it's better to win big. Like even if you end up, you don't want to overdo it, but it's much better to have like an easy victory, by sending too much rather than like just barely winning and losing a ton of stuff. So yeah, I'm always a little concerned like when I'm leaving, stuff behind, but I think in this case it's going to be worth it. We need money. And then we are sending our other Polomark up here. And he's like minimally kitted. The encumbrance is like a serious issue that, like I said, I didn't actually recognize this. So yeah, this guy's headed out. He's going to get super tired and trying to hack his way through. The other stuff is good though. So kind of going a little bit for a repelly build. He doesn't really have any way to bless himself. So he's kind of going in unsupported, which is not good. There's an item, I think Holy Water Flask. It's 5 water gems, and it'll just auto bless like a sacred unit, and pretty good on these guys. If you want these guys to operate independently, yeah, definitely look into that. Or you bring along a mage a priest to bless them. It's just another way to go. That said, like they're pretty good anyway. So we're not going to get the advantage of our bless, which is going to add like to our attack. Well, it's blood surge, so once he kills somebody, it adds to a bunch of our stats and just makes them better. But this is mostly focused on repelling, and our attack skill is not fantastic. We'll be able to repel, like, we're sending him up to recapture this, so like militias, he's going to have no problem with. He doesn't need the bless. But from there, maybe work his way down, into Hinnom's land. And the Bone Tribe is a little freaky. Like, I would prefer he be blessed for that. So, I don't know. We'll see. I might try to work a priest up to join him or just roll the dice. But anyway, yeah, the repelling, you want a high attack skill, and that's what this is doing. And a little extra fire resistance never hurts. And obviously, like having a high attack skill, regardless of any repelling, just means you're going to land hits, which is important. If we did have a way to bless him, that would help ensure that Blood Surge triggers, because obviously, again, Blood Surge is worthless if you don't get a kill. And then the bird it's considered another attack. And it's just kind of a cool item. It doesn't get any boost from his strength or anything, right? So it's always like just the straight 9, like magic damage. Although I believe it pretty much, more likely to hit in the head, which is good. Like head hits are rough. And then it also counts as another attack, so it can also repel. So yeah, it just helps with the repelling. I'd say the main problem with it is expensive. Like it's a 10 gem item, and 9 damage is like not that much, but it'll definitely like help clear out like militia and reduce like the number of attacks that this guy's actually going to see, or rather reduce the number of attacks that he fails to repel. So anyway, yeah, this is very like minimal gearing, like it's super early, and I'm not great at thugging, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, these guys are pretty good. If you want to get into thugging, like these guys are probably like one of the easiest like chassis. I think probably, I don't know, I'm sure there's easier, but these guys are a pretty good one. If you can, this is a good place to start your thugging career, I would say. So yeah, definitely excited to see how he does. He's not really scripted yet. I don't think I have. Yeah, we don't yet have Alteration 2, and then it looks like, yeah, okay. So that was a switch, actually, because I was going for enchantment for the Titan, but Titan's not out yet, so we can wait a little bit on that. And having Stone Skin for this guy will help. So it'll boost his natural protection, and protection is kind of already their thing. You can see he's like 21, but he actually does have a little bit of natural protection, but I think Stone Skin will bring this up to like 15, and yeah, I don't remember. It's not perfect, like combining like protection from armor and natural protection, so like you can't just add the natural protection to the protection. It won't be that good, but it'll still be good, so that'll definitely be an improvement. And yeah, continuing to scout, we did find a few people. So we found more or less the borders of Hinnom, so that's good. So we have Ermor up here, and then we have Galassa here, and then Lanka down here. So yeah, there's a couple neighbors like of Hinnom that we could contact if need be. If we end up needing help against Hinnom. And I feel like it's usually just a good idea to at least like know who the neighbors are, whoever you're likely to fight. Because then that way you can call those players in individually, and get in touch with them. Now that said, I mean, hopefully we're just going to be able to eat like Hinnom, somewhat with the help of Marverni. But yeah, I mean, ideally we would get most of Hinnom's land ourselves. So not going to contact them immediately, would prefer to just eat Hinnom without anybody being too much the wiser until it's too late. But, it could easily go the other way. So definitely, good to know at least who to talk to if things start going wrong. So yeah, I think that covers turn 11. All right, Mekone, turn 12. We have a prophet proclamation from Ermor, whose god name is... I don't know. I think the most entertaining of the bunch for this game. But yeah, speaking of gods, our god awoke, or goddess, I suppose, which is cool. You're not guaranteed for imprisoned or dormant to have them wake up right away. I believe this is the earliest that dormant, gods or goddesses could possibly wake up. So yeah, that's really good news. It's really lucky. I don't know if luck affects that, but anyway, you take luck, you see it everywhere. You're like, yes, it justifies it. So who knows? But regardless, it is lucky, and it's nice that she showed up early. So yeah, we had some unexpected events. So yeah, we had a priest show up. That's nice. We like that. Minus unrest, which is nice, and then there was a mild winter. Also, luck is. I think we got some luck. We'll double check on this. That our scales are actually there, and then, okay, this is the arena battle. I was gonna say if this is a conjuration event, like, geez, because usually they last like 1 or 2 turns. There might be some variation. I actually don't know. Anyway. This is the death match. So yeah, the arena, yeah, it's cool. There's some mods out there I think that make it better or more unbalanced, depending on who you talk to. Certainly the vanilla arena is kind of underwhelming in terms of the items that you get. That said, Mekone is well positioned to win an arena fight. So with the arena, you just send like one commander, any commander. It's actually like let's see. So let's say this guy, you get this extra command here just for this turn. And so if you issue this command to this guy, that guy will go to like another plane and he will fight, any, like in a random order, whoever sends people as well. But yeah, and so anyway, we're in a good position to win it. If you're a human nation or something, it's like, yeah, good luck going up against these guys one-on-one. So like, yeah, these guys can definitely win some arena death matches. But it's like they're kind of busy, they're on the move, right? So it's like I can't move and send them to the arena. So I choose not to participate, which, like, I don't know. I actually don't know the vanilla items that you get super well. Like, I've done it in some single player games and, remember thinking like, oh, that's it? Like, that doesn't seem that great. And then, reading a bunch of stuff online where people are like, oh yeah, like vanilla arena, it's garbage and etc. Anyway, you tend to not see like too many participants in the vanilla games, and I just didn't really feel like it was worth messing up the timetable because we are moving out. So yeah, I think we're gonna mass here. He's gonna see it because that'll be his border. And we've got a good amount of stuff. Only the one Polomark here, which we definitely would prefer to have more. Definitely need to change up his script. I haven't updated that. Hopefully do that before we actually attack. But yeah, once we're here, he's not gonna have a lot of time to react because we just go 1, 2. That's his capital, and as far as I've seen, his only fort. So if he doesn't have an army in position here, and can't get an army in position here, because we still really haven't seen an army from him. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but I just haven't managed to find it, and it doesn't seem like we have decent eyes right? We have eyes on this. We don't have eyes on this. We will next turn. So, I mean, we know that unless it's sitting on his cap, which it very well might be, that's not a bad place, just leave your army if you're not using it. So, it could be filled with troops. But if it's not, and his army isn't able to get back, we can lock it down, prevent recruitment. We could win this war pretty quickly, which is always what you want to do. So yeah, right now, looking pretty good. Obviously, he has attacked back, right? So here's Maverny's cap. So Maverny has lost some ground here. So, although it doesn't really look like whatever it was that took it didn't hang out or is stealthy. So yeah, he's hopefully, he could even be sieging Maverny's capital right now. That could be where his army is, which wouldn't be good for Maverny, but would be perfect for me, because then it's he has to choose, and Maverny will probably try to attack here, and then it's he's got, and this isn't too much, so he can fight through that easy. But anyway, it's now it's I gotta abandon the siege, fight my way through Maverny, and it's too many turns to get back. So we'll see. Yeah, I feel good. I feel good about this attack here. The bull is a bit of a wild card. I know I've been saying it's no problem. I'm pretty sure it's no problem. I mean, these guys, they deal a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage, and it's magic damage. So there's a bunch of stuff they don't care about. In terms of protective things. So I just think that it's if you get surrounded by these guys, especially because you can fit two of them in a square, you can actually pack a lot of these gigantes around a unit. So if that bull is by itself surrounded by these guys, I think it's gonna die real fast. And he can't have that much research, to help boost it through spells. Probably personal regeneration or something like that. So we will need to cut through that regen, but. The regen usually isn't too much, maybe 20 a turn, 30 a turn at worst. 30 a turn might be a bit rough, so we'll see. There's still a bit of a wild card in terms of the bull, but haven't actually seen the bull either in a while. So yeah, maybe that was what was capturing stuff down here. But regardless, we're going in. And then, yeah, I was really lucky that we got this priest, because I was just talking about how, it's just oh, yeah, we have no way to bless this guy. Well, look who just showed up. And this is a full luck province, so, this is probably, almost assuredly, luck related. And then where was our other one? Let's actually double check that. Let's see. Yes, where was the mild winter? So, yeah, this is only 2 luck, but still, could totally be related to luck. Now, I mean, not every good event that you get is because of your luck scales, but it sure feels that way. When you take it, but yeah, so I think luck is probably starting to pay off for us now, which is nice. And this guy also came with just some random militia garbage, which we're actually leaving behind. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're not very good. You do have to be careful. This is enough guys and enough HP that if we send it in with our polemarch, right, these militia will just die to anything and everything, right? And then they'll rout, and then they'll trigger an HP route. So stuff that this guy normally would be able to take on, he actually wouldn't be able to take on if we brought this. So that makes sense. It kind of sucks just leaving him here. Hopefully, yeah, I don't know. They'll be good for patrolling, basically. These guys should head to the capital, because we got them, and they're pretty cheap upkeep. I mean, our guys are cheaper. Yeah, so I mean 6 is low, but our guys are cheaper, so it's actually not as great. But anyway, free dudes, we can use them for patrolling. We should definitely get them back to the capital, or sacrifice them to the throne or something. But, again, we want to try to move on Hinnom as quickly as possible, and, this priest is pretty close to in position, so we're just bringing him right over to meet up with our polemarch, who it looks like is probably just going to go for this province here and just ignore this for now. I think at this point I had signed a nap with Calum, who was really kind of, it sounds looking to Turtle. I know he was saying that, it's oh, I have naps with all my neighbors and etc. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely some nations that... I mean, plenty of nations that will do really well in the mid-game, right? So it's you don't have to take these early wars, as I have been tending to do. And there's certainly a lot of arguments to be made to not take them, really on any nation. But yeah, I think particularly Calum spikes pretty well in terms of power in the mid-game. So kind of just turtling up, getting the lay of the land, and then, just absolutely crushing someone, in the mid-game. I was think he's totally valid plan. But anyway, he doesn't seem particularly hostile or aggressive in terms of expanding, and I believe he is who borders this province, so I'm not too worried about him swooping in and taking it, while I'm busy warring with Hinnom. I'm pretty sure I'd be able to work that out diplomatically, that like, hey, yeah, I'll get to it, and I might take this next turn anyway, we'll see. But usually it's like, if you're going to war, it's like you want to start peeling provinces off of your opponent as quickly as possible, rather than messing around with indies. But anytime it's an independent flag, like, diplomacy is non-binding, right? So it's like you don't even have to respect a nap, and technically he could take this and like that wouldn't be a violation of the nap, like in a strict reading, right? It's just like, okay, we're not going to attack each other. Well, this is not my flag, this is not Mekone's flag. Obviously that's going to piss people off, especially if it's like it revolts and then immediately the next turn like you take it and you're like, oh, it's an independent province, like they're going to come after you in all likelihood. Certainly you're not going to make any friends that way. But if you just leave it like sitting there like turn after turn, like it does, people are like, well, if he doesn't want it, I'll take it. So the longer you leave stuff independent, like there definitely is a danger, even from your supposed allies. Again, dominions, there's no allies. We're not in this to make friends. There's only gets to be one god. Like, we're all pretenders. So yeah. Anyway, so we'll see. I actually don't remember where I go, but yeah, probably Hinnom's territory. And then just trying to like, again, like this is it. These are our 3 scouts. Really, probably should have built more scouts with some of my fort turns, and then that would have helped me save gold. Speaking of saving gold, I do actually have some gold saved here, so like it looks like next turn we're planning on putting up our fort, which is late. Turn 12 is late. Usually like turn 6, 7, 8, like that's all pretty reasonable. You want to have like at least 1 fort under construction, or ideally finished by turn 12, I would say, is like kind of the usual like rule of thumb. And that's like on the low side. Now again, this is smaller maps, so you kind of have to contract everything, but I know that like a lot of people say like, yeah, you want to have like 3 forts or 4 forts like under construction, by year. They don't all have to be finishing by the end of year 1, turn 12. But they ought to at least be under construction, and we have no forts under construction, because even looking for that free fort, and we were continuing, like, you never know, this could be our free fort right here, but it looks like we've finally given up, where it's just like, okay, if we don't get the free fort this turn, we should probably just build one. So yeah, and so again, like we can't recruit a mage because this guy's coming in, he's slow to recruit, and then we're doing no troop recruitment this turn, so that we'll have enough money, to get a fort. And I'm not sure, it looks like we'll probably put it here, I think, and I think this is where our bone tribe are. And so they just get air death, like we don't have any native death again, and the air death cross path is good. Province sucks, but a lot of our provinces suck, and that's not so bad for Mekone, because Mekone kind of wants its forts on provinces that suck, because their forts generate unrest, right? So it's like, if I put a fort here, like, ooh, look at all this income, and okay, I have some unrest here, and that's not good. I at least have 10 PD, so this should start to tick down. Although, yeah, that's somewhat... Oh, this isn't even in our dominion. Okay, so it should tick down fast, because this is probably Ulm's dominion. And he's got order, so that'll help. Let's see, yeah, unrest reduction +2. You can see in our lands with full turmoil, let's see, what is it? Yeah, unrest reduction -3. So I'm not sure if it just ticks up naturally. Probably. I don't know. We don't have any unrest here. So anyway, I'm not exactly sure how that works. But regardless, our lands end up with a lot more unrest generally. But this is under enemy dominion, which is actually bad. And it's actually really bad. Because for stuff that you have under your dominion, so for instance, as a reverse example, right, this is TNN's province, but it has our dominion. So we get a lot of information about it. A lot of information, actually. Like, this is better than a scout report, I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look. Yeah, right, so we have a scout here. He doesn't tell us shit about, like, what's up with this province. He can tell you how hot it is, right? He's like, yeah, it's kind of hot here. Can we go somewhere else? But and like what the terrain types are and like who owns it and if there are like mages or troops. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm pro scouting, but this is better. Because it's like you get information about it. It's like, ooh, this is a nice province. Like income 43, I would like that. Look at all these resources, recruitment, some population. I mean, okay, that kind of sucks, but for early age, it's nice. So anyway, I can see all this. So that means I'm assuming this is Ulm's. It could be Niflheim's dominion. Either way, it's not great because guess what? This is a nice province too. So whoever can see this is looking at this is like, this is right at the edge of Mekone's territory. Like maybe it should be mine. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Mekone's priests, they're not great, and we could arguably like transfer a guy up to do like a little preaching, but it's you need the research we're trying to forge. Anyway, I don't know. So we got enemy dominion here. They can see it's really nice. That's a little scary. So hopefully that won't matter. And then let's see here. Yes, two minor things. It's very sad. This guy got diseased during winter because our guys are mostly old. This guy's not old. No fire. That's cool. But yeah, this guy's old and etc. And despite taking unaging, it's not perfect. Let's see, where is? Yeah, they don't tell us about it here. I think they age like every 4th year or something, and then when they age, right, they could get disease. So I don't know. I guess maybe they age their 1st year and then it's 4 years before they age again. Regardless, this guy aged and he got diseased, so now he's just gonna die. And you're gonna see this a lot more if you play Mekone without unaging. That said, like it's not as bad. Like I mean, okay, this guy's old, but like the polemarchs, like I don't think are ever really gonna be old, and like these guys, like, I don't know, right? It's like this guy, it's fine. If this guy dies, like, he's not a very good mage. So anyway, it seems like a lot of your best mages as Mekone don't have as much of an aging issue. And yeah, being able to use those plus points for something else is pretty attractive. So not sure I would play with this again, but something we'll keep an eye on for sure in terms of like, well, how many guys get diseased and how many guys end up being old and how important are they. But yeah, despite unaging, still getting a little bit of disease, which is you never like to see that, but it's not too bad. And then the other thing too is like almost recruiting, like I don't know, like this is just independent heavy infantry. And like the bronze, this is, I don't know. I don't understand this move because, I mean, okay, it's not a mountain or like a forest or anything special like that. So like Ulm like can't really recruit their national troops in this province specifically. But it's like, I don't know. They have like, well, okay, this is their capital. Maybe they're just that small. You don't normally see this. The Ulmish troops are a lot better than these guys. So it's kind of like, I don't know why you would waste money on these guys. I mean, they're not the worst troops. The bronze guys it really does kind of hurt. But they're just, they're not very good. And Ulm's national troops are certainly way better. So yeah, I was kind of weirded out to see this. I was like, okay, that's an interesting choice. Certainly it is a way to like maximize recruitment, especially early on, right? Because it's like early in the game, you only have that one fort. So it's like any kind of foreign recruiting you can do, non-fort recruiting. Is just gonna help bulk out your forces, but it's like Ulm gets like some really good like foreign recruit options anyway, where they can recruit their national troops, outside of their forts. So it's a little odd to see. You don't normally see independent heavy infantry recruited in numbers anyway. I mean, that said, like I am recruiting some Bone Tribe here, right? So I'm kind of doing the same thing. Now I would argue that Bone Tribe are a heck of a lot better. Than these heavy infantry, but anyway, it's just kind of an interesting thing. Everybody plays differently. So yeah, I think that covers it. It was turn 12.